Welcome to the fourth tutorial of the VEMBU database. Today we will cover receiver battery changes and prepping to go into the field. Go ahead and open up your copy of the VEMBU. Since last time, I added a few more receivers, sensors, and stations. The example VEMBU now has 5 receivers, 4 stations, and 3 sensors. The first thing we will cover is receiver battery changes. This can be done at any time, but in our scenario, where we haven't deployed any receivers yet, we need to put batteries in the receivers before we take them in the field. From the tabs on top, select the Update Receiver Status tab. Here, all the receivers that we have entered will show up. If you hover over the buttons here, a short description will pop up. It really, I promise, does in real life. I'm not sure why it doesn't do it here for the video recording. But you can enter receiver maintenance, those are maintenance needs on receivers, and then battery changes. Go ahead and select the battery change button. A new pop-up window emerges. You can select from a drop-down of your receivers. Only receivers that are considered in rotation, so these are good functional receivers or available to have the batteries changed. Now, let's do something a little different. I'm going to go ahead and close this, and I'm going to change one of the status of this receiver. I will go over more in depth how to change status of receivers and stations in the future, but for now we're just going to use this as a quick example. I'm going to change it to lost or stolen. And if I go back to battery changes, you see that receiver 1, because it's considered lost or stolen, is no longer available in this list. It's really useful in order to keep this drop-down list shorter. Okay, but we do want to go ahead and put batteries in all of these and keep them in rotation. So again, I can select the receiver number and the date of the battery change. And just click Save. I'm going to go ahead and do this for all of the receivers. All right, wonderful. I've put in dates for battery changes for new batteries for all of these receivers. Now, before going into the field for the first time, I want to check out what equipment I have on the shelf and what's available to be deployed. So in the tabs listed above, go ahead and select on Queries. There are a variety of queries to choose from. If you hover over the button, a short description will appear. I know I said that before. There we go. Okay. We will go through all the queries in other tutorials. For now, we're going to look at the queries applicable to this scenario, getting ready to deploy for the first time. On the right-hand side, we see functional equipment. This is equipment that is not broken or stolen, whether or not it is deployed. New equipment are your shiny new toys on the shelf that haven't been played with yet. Say if you have a really important station that you want to make sure that a new receiver goes there, then you could click on this list. Equipment available to be deployed, those are your equipment that is not deployed and in functional, that is functional. So if we click up here, these aren't going to be super exciting at this time. Say here if we go to new receivers, because all of our receivers have never been deployed, our entire list is here. You can go ahead and right click and close on that. If we click on in rotation receivers, or we'll do something different, in rotation sensors. So this is all of our functional equipment. These are the 3 sensors we've entered, and they are all currently functional. And if we went to on shelf because we haven't deployed anything yet, again, we're going to see our full receiver or sensor list. Like I said, these aren't super exciting right now because everything is new and functional. I'll show you how these change in future tutorials. Please see the next tutorial to learn how to enter data on deployments and retrievals.